what's the difference between strategy therapy and the Category Design Academy? And we gave everybody in the first cohort, they really helped us kind of refine it and give feedback on it. So everybody in the first cohort went through it, but it is a separate thing. And Eddie, maybe you can speak to that a little bit about which one is right for you, how they
Right.
work with each other, that kind of a thing.
Actually, we've had a couple of folks in the chat and the Q&A kind of describe like, hey, I'm building a SaaS tool for my startup, or I think Neil had commented of, I'm actually, I might be on the wrong ship, but he's a startup founder looking to build a new category of software. Strategy therapy is a great option for you there. Because if, you're an entrepreneur building a SaaS tool, no better exercise than to build a one-page strategy and go get the brutal honesty and radical courage and clarity to translate that what you have to one pager, and then ultimately and ideally a one sentence strategy with it. And so that's probably the right place to go if you're like, I'm actually trying to design my own category and figure it out. If it's for your company, go to strategy therapy. There's other routes for that. If it's for your career, then this is a great place for you. Now, some of you, your career is, it's a little bit blurry. So I think as long as you are, you know, willing to be good pirates and good community members, Pablo and Danny, like we should tell Mr. B we've been talking about it, but like I don't really know how to describe the joy and the experience of having Mr. B in the academy. I don't know that he would have fit any of my explanations for why he should or shouldn't be there. All I know is that he's an amazing creator and he adds so much joy, and the stuff that he is doing around creating a new category of children's books, teaching kids how to rap, and it turns like it just blows our minds with it. I don't know where that fit, but I think he was very open to learning the craft and going through the content and to build it out that way. So I don't know that there's a hard and fast rule, um, but yeah, in general, company separate, career perfect place for you.
That moment with Mr. B was one of my favorite moments. Like because with what you're describing, Eddie, I think that in-betweener person, that is, hey, I am an executive. I have dabbled in the past of like freelance stuff. I have maybe given a shot or two at entrepreneurship. I've got multiple projects. None of them really fit. So I'm really thinking about whether I'm going to do it for this one or that one. It's like bullshit. Like once you got, I have that moment with Mr. B was incredible, right? Like the how you took a guy that was a professional rapper, that also was like tinkering with like a SaaS product, that had also written a children's book, and you figured out how to just like whoop, put it all together into a category that's really working for him, and everybody's like, "That's so obvious. How did you not think of that?" Right? Like, so I would say that if you're one of these folks that has multiple things that you're doing, it's for sure for you.
It's interesting because we had a few people in the program who, if you were to take their areas of interest, their areas of expertise, the areas of problems and opportunities they like to solve and or access, the problems and value they've been known for creating, and draw it in a Venn diagram, none of them would appear to have any overlap, right? But when we were all pushing each other to do some thinking about thinking, you say, well, okay, so if there were a connection between the fact that you like to water ski and write poetry, play guitar, and build SaaS products, what would it be? Right. And invariably, if we were willing to surrender the constraints of the current premise, reject the premise, and consider wildly different futures that on the surface, right? One of our favorite expressions, every legendary business is a dumb idea until it isn't. And then in being willing to trade in dumb ideas with each other and look for things that don't appear present, to your point, with Mr. B and with several others, when we got the lock in and we saw it, it was there and nobody could ever unsee it. And to your point, part of his success has been now he can articulate that radical different in his own personal category design, and people get it too. And heretofore, nobody thought any of the shit he was doing was connected. Never mind a new way of doing something, a new category of something.
I'm excited to see how that plays out.
Me too. I hope he wins a Grammy and he buys a mansion in Brentwood.
Just walks around with burritos every morning.
Oh my God.
That's
With
the
his
other one.
burrito.
Characters, different, welcome. You're all welcome.
Absolutely.
Yes, this is the island of misfit toys.
Danny, can you speak? I know you went through the strategy therapy course, most of it, right? So I kind of want to hear your thoughts on strategy therapy versus academy, or how they were connected, how you use both of them, having gone through a decent part of the academy first and then taking strategy therapy about halfway through. So if you can speak to that a little bit, maybe that would give some folks some clarity if they're trying to decide.
First, I think I'm a terrible strategic thinker, right? Or I don't know that I've had a lot of training around strategy. So that was a huge opportunity for me, right? So, Seneca says if you're in a boat basically and you got wind at your sails, but you don't know where you're headed, the wind isn't favorable to you, right? I related to that quote in terms of I knew I could accomplish more and that kind of thing, but not necessarily having focus and being able to share it in a succinct way, even though Pablo says I can. So strategy therapy certainly helped with that. And I knew I got it as well, because when I shared it with my internal team, they all said, yes, that's it. The category design, I mean, it's broader, right? There's more components. As Katrina was walking us through the academy inside, you could see all the different modules that are there. So it's establishing, your superpower, crafting your point of view, mastering the no sell sell, and so much other stuff. And so, it's salt and pepper. It's seasoning. It makes the meal that you've cooked taste a lot better, So hopefully that metaphor worked for you. I will say this though too, even just participating in the Category Design Academy, I launched my own community, right? So just sharing another win. It was a 6-week launch, mid-July through August, and there's 120 ruckus makers, right? That's what I call my people, who want to learn how to do school different. And I was too close to it to even see it, and after going through this program as well, I hate the original name of the company and the website from 10 years ago, but, God bless me, I didn't know category design back then. But I'm playing a game of exponential change, not incremental, and that's why it all, works. 10-second story too. I don't know if you can relate to this, but I've read the books, right? I read the mini books, I've read the big books. And there was still a gap in just trying to figure it out. And that was the problem that was solved with the Category Design Academy, right? I'm a smart guy. I try and I tinker, but that can't substitute, again, with the dialogue that you have with the fellow pirates and figuring out how you'll actually implement and iterate, pivot, that kind of stuff. So if you could relate to that, join.